What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Channel. My name's AJ Gels. How y'all doing? We are starting something new today. This is XCOM Chimera Squad. This is sort of a spin-off of your traditional sort of XCOM experience. I was watching a reaction video to some gameplay segments by Christopher Odd, which, by the way, I've been watching his LP for this. He's playing on impossible difficulty. We won't be. I'm going to be playing on, I think it's advanced, the one right under impossible, just so we can include the tutorial, which has story elements and everything to it. But either way, he brought up this interesting point of that this seems to be kind of Firaxis trying some new things in what would probably be the development period of XCOM 3. I mean, because this game, I'm not sure how long it is, how much depth there's going to be. It does a lot of interesting things from what I've been able to tell, but I mean, really, the game costs $20. That's its launch price. I think right now on Steam, you can get it for $10 until the start of May. So if you're interested in, go check that out. But, you know, he suggested this is probably Firaxis trying out some new mechanics and some new ideas that might be implemented further in XCOM 3. And I think that's a fairly interesting point, because once we get into this game, I think it's best to describe this as XCOM Bones with a lot of with a new wrapper, because this isn't very military-esque. It's more police-focused. Because if anybody doesn't really know the setting of this game, which honestly, I didn't even know this game existed until like late last week. But the entire idea of this game is it takes place 5 years after XCOM 2. The world is kind of begin to mix with the alien presence, and you know that they're kind of bonding, and it's being normalized that humans and aliens basically live in the same cities. And this game takes place in one of those cities. This is City 31. There's some tensions. It's like some big like spaceport. There's some tensions between the humans and the aliens, and the police force is kind of having trouble dealing with all of that. And this is where we kind of chime in, because we control Chimera Squad, which is this. I don't fully know who they report to or what's going on. As far as I understand it, they aren't under the jurisdiction of the police. They're technically under another government agency, but they work in tandem with the police. Basically, we are a unit of aliens, humans, and alien-human hybrids. So it kind of has broken away from that typical XCOM structure where you have all of these units and classes and everything, where it replaced them with more, you have one character per class, but they are actual characters. So it kind of builds a narrative. It's a little bit more narrative focused. The characters, like I said, have actual personalities and backstories and everything. Although that does kind of change things, because now if a character dies, it's game over. You have to restart the mission. It's a whole thing. There's some balance aspects of if a character does get downed and stabilized, and there's a wound system. It's kind of interesting. We'll go into more of it when we see it. You know, I'm not going to go into terribly much of the gameplay right now, because we'll see things advance as we go. We're going to play an expert. I'm not going to play on Iron Man just in case we have crashes or anything. Hardcore, so basically if you fail a mission, it's a total campaign loss. City Anarchy we'll go into. It's kind of like the... oh my god, what was it? The running project at the top of the game. I can't remember what it was called. I can't remember what it was called from XCOM 2 for some reason. I've played through the tutorial for this game. The game runs really smooth. It looks really good too. I'm not even running it like a super powerful PC, but the game runs very smoothly. It looks good. There's some interesting aspects. It uses some interesting art styles and stuff for the cutscenes. And you know what? Let's just hop in. I hope that intro wasn't too wordy. I tried to keep it down.
2 minutes out.
Hey, Godmother. Is this like the old days? XCOM swooping in and taking it to the bad guys?
I wouldn't know. I spent most of the war training resistance networks.
Like mine. And for your many, long years of service.
Watch it.
XCOM attaches you to an untested squad and pushes it into the field before it's ready. How is this not like the old days?
I'm just happy to be here. I missed out during the war. Wish I could have pulled my weight.
For which side, exactly?
I find that very hurtful.
Sure thing, Advent.
We are through the checkpoint.
I was never actually Advent.
But they were fitting you for a blocky helmet.
Stow it, both of you. We're here. 3-1 PD gave us the all clear. Grab your gear and prepare to move in.
Alright, so we'll go into more of those backstories, but you kind of saw it. If you remember what the Advent looked like under the helmets, that's what that guy Cherub was. He was, from what I remember of his backstory...
Whisper.
There's some dialogue here.
Status.
And what's Verge's ETA?
Comms are working, obviously. Verge is en route.
How? Verge can't drive.
He hailed a cab.
To a hostage situation?
Focus. Whisper. Any surprises in the next room?
A handful of hostiles, unaware of your approach.
Chimera squad, take positions. Prep for breach.
Alright, and so just kind of finishing a quick point. So yeah, so you're already kind of seeing this kind of fusion between the kind of people that you're going to see in the squad. It's like I said, they're actually characters now. So you know, you saw Terminal, Godmother, and Cherub in that little exchange. Godmother, I haven't really seen a lot of her skills or a lot of gameplay with her, so I'm not 100% sure what she does. She uses a shotgun as her weapon. Terminal is a hacking class. You see the Gremlin. She also uses an SMG. And then you saw Cherub, who is a shield and pistol user. He was basically going to be just your typical Advent soldier. He's got human DNA in him. Again, he's got an actual backstory that we'll read once we get to our base and everything. But let's actually get into the gameplay. Sorry, it's like I said, just from the opening scene, you can see how this game's kind of pulling away from the typical XCOM sort of style. The XCOM had a story, but it wasn't character focused. It was more event focused. I'd explain it. There were characters, but they weren't the main grab. So it mixed that with the cool comic booky art style. I always love that. But let's see here. Chimera Squad begins every mission by setting up at a breach point to get the jump on enemies. Preview the enemy presence at the breach point and modifiers that will apply. Then assign agents to the available slots to determine the order they'll fight in. In a weird way, this kind of reminds me of if anybody knows the game Breach and Clear. Kind of like setting up for that game, where you're setting up at, sometimes you'll have multiple points. This first one, there's only one, and then we'll see more and more as we go. So we select the slots for Breach, and we can pick our units, and this actually determines turn order, because in this game, it's not the simple XCOM moves, then Advent moves, or, well, the Chimera Squad moves and whoever we're fighting moves. It's not like that anymore. It actually goes, we move a unit, they move a unit. We move a unit, they move a unit, and this is actually how we decide where our units go, as opposed to it being based on speed or something. So I'm going to lead actually with Cherub, because he's got the shield. And then we can go like that. So Cherub's going to go first, then Terminal, and then Godmother, and then they'll place an enemy unit, and in between them. Now, there are skills that affect timeline and everything, but it's just a new kind of strategy sort of thing to this game, and how you deal with units. We'll get a little bit more into it as we go. Seeing down here, this encounter thing, again, it'll be explained a little bit more, but basically, instead of having one big, massive map that we start off in, we actually go in smaller, more self-contained areas. And so there's multiple stages and smaller maps. I kind of like it personally. It makes things tighter. It makes it a lot more, I'd say, fast-paced and more to the point, so you're not just running around exploring so much. Kind of just a few last things on the interface. Like I said, we went over that. Yeah, we'll talk about more like what it means when you're switching between breach points. This is basically the number of enemies that are going to be visible to us as soon as we breach. Depending on the color of this bar here, depends on how the enemies are going to react. We have, and also different breach points give you different buffs. So this one gives us pinpoint, so all successful shots on enemies will crit. So there we go. Long-winded, I know, but there's a lot of kind of new stuff to kind of go into. So let's actually
Reaching in.
breach. There we go. So now you see this guy's surprised, and this guy is alert. Basically, they'll take different actions depending on what status they're in. I believe surprised, they take no action. Alert, they will trying to remember. I believe they will hunker down, and then there's an aggressive one, which they will actually return fire. So let's actually just see. He's got a pistol. Let's go for this. I mean, they're all 100%. He gets that crit with her SMG. It just kind of makes sense that she takes the shot at the distance. Shotgun, boom, takes the close range. So it's like I said, I mean, everything, it moves really smoothly.
Hello, I am Mayor Nightingale.
Is that our hostage?
Welcome to City 31's Memorial Museum.
It's just a recording.
As I often say, the lessons from our past inform the present.
Blah, blah, blah. History.
Focus.
All right, so yeah, you're kind of seeing just like I said, it moves really smoothly. The game looks good, which, like I said, I kind of wasn't expecting, because to me on my rig, XCOM 2 actually moved a little stuttery, but this one, it moves nice and buttery smooth and all that. So right here, so agents and enemies take turns in their actions, one at a time. Current place in the turn order, set the unit flag above their heads, so you can kind of see this guy will move second after Cherub, and that guy moves fourth after Terminal. And then agents have 2 actions to use for moving, shooting abilities, all that. The basic XCOM stuff. That stuff's still the same, moving around. So as I was saying, you kind of see this. It's a much smaller kind of contained area. Obviously, this is the tutorial, so it's going to be a little smaller than normal, but. Alright, first things first, we need to deal with this guy. I'm actually going to move him up close, because he's got health mixed with that shield, probably will help us out. So I can easily take him, or take the 65. You know what, I'm going to take the shot. Boom, at the 65, get him. I also kind of like how the bodies actually start to, you see him kind of like start bleeding. It's a weird detail, but I like it. We'll just move up. See, I kind of like how they move, like, kind of tactically. It's, with their gun raised, they aren't just sprinting like it's on a battlefield. It's more of that kind of tactical sort of SWAT movement. Let's take that 79%. And I missed, but I grazed him. Okay, so I'm not really sure how grazing and everything works. Ooh. Okay, that could have been bad. Like I was saying, I'm not sure how grazing and everything works. Just because I think all shots, generally, if you miss, there is still a chance they will do some damage. I know in previous XCOM games you needed a stock, but in this one, I think all shots have a chance to graze and do some damage. It's because you're working with less health, but again, you're in these tighter areas and everything. So strategy has to be deployed a little differently. Then you even mix in the fact that you're moving in phases. You're not moving. You're moving individually, not moving as not moving your whole team at once. It kind of changes up how you strategize and who you target and when. It's kind of interesting. I like it. So move up there, take the easy flank.
You see this?
Huh. Interesting.
Contact!
And meet Verge.
Clear.
Verge? What took you so long?
Had to unpack a breaching charge.
Good man.
Not exactly.
You know what I mean.
I always do.
So creepy. Don't ever change.
Verge, form up. Any hostiles in the next room?
Yes, I can feel them.
And there we go. You're even kind of seeing the different personalities again. They're not faceless units. They're actually characters. I keep mentioning that. I really like that from a narrative perspective. Okay, so some encounters offer more than one breach point with different risks and benefits. Consider whether to split your squad up or send them all through the same location. Agents entering from the same breach point will enter the encounter together and will be closer in the timeline. The order the breach point will enter is shown next to their name and can be changed using the arrows. So, right here, so you see 1, 2. Basically, this means the main door will act first, and the top door, or the one up here, will act second. Honestly, I'm going to have this one move first, because when I first did this one, it makes more sense to me to move through the top one. Let's see here. So the last unit through this entrance will actually get a +3 to damage. And so I'm actually going to send, let's see here, same Verge and Terminal up top, because they got more long-range kind of focused weapons. And I will send Cherub and Godmother down there, because they got the pistol shotgun kind of combo down here. So like I said, I'm going to actually have the top door go first, because I think they can kind of clear the bottom area easier for them, because they're going to be entering in an area that has aggressive enemies. You can see that, because they're going to be able to see 5 enemies. We're only going to be able to see 3 from the breach. Basically, from what I've heard, you won't be able to clear an entire room on a breach, but it kind of adds to that. And I don't want to say adds to that tactical feel. It just kind of adds to that sort of cop feel that I really like. I love cop games and everything like that. You'll see. I actually think this game feels like this is the police at certain points in time, from what I've seen from LPs and whatnot. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this.
Stay behind me.
Oh, I found this out from, like I said, I was watching other people's LPs. It was, let's take that 90% over there first. Full cover. Okay, so because he had full cover, he was able to kind of absorb that shot a little bit. Take that 76 or that 50. Well, I'm just gonna... Yeah, take that. So she got bonus damage. Alright, so this guy is aggressive, so that means he's going to definitely, he's definitely going to fire back at us. No matter what, though. He's a 69. Yeah, then let's get rid of him, because he's going to fire back at us. And I didn't get the kill. That's not good. Oh, you're kidding me. And see, we get return fire. And the alert guy hunkers down. Alright, so each agent has a unique ability they can use every turn, eventually gaining more abilities from their class and equipment. Most agents also have the Subdue ability, which is a non-lethal attack that is low damage but guaranteed to hit. Use it to earn additional rewards for certain mission objectives. Cherub uses the Charge Bash ability instead of Subdue. Basically, you can gain intel from subduing enemies. I think if you subdue 5 enemies, you get a 100% chance to gain intel, and then it decrease. And then at 5 enemies, it's 100%. 4 enemies, it's 80. So it's 20% per enemy you subdue. Again, like I said, if you want to see this game played at the highest difficulty, go check out Christopher Odd's channel. He's playing the game on the highest difficulty, while we're playing on the one below. Just because, again, you don't get to see the tutorial and everything. And from what I remember, also if you don't play the tutorial, you actually choose which units you start off with instead of these 4, which we're kind of being locked into for story reasons. So, all right, let's see. So I have Battle Madness. So this can make an enemy go berserk and attack a nearby target, adds them to the neural network, or Stupor basically stuns. Who's acting next? He is. All right. Just because I want to use this ability. Let's hit him with Stupor. Oh, shoot. I wanted to use Battle Madness. I didn't want Stupor. Oh, well. There we go. So we stunned him. So now he won't take his action. Oh, and that didn't end my turn either. Okay, so I can still fire. All right. I can also use Battle Madness, which will make an enemy go berserk and attack a nearby target. All right. Can I see what that point is? No? Okay. Just keep dropping down his psionic powers.
As long as it isn't us.
Now he's berserk. So you see that they're going to act back to back, so he'll shoot the guy who's stunned. This went way smoother when I played this. What was I saying? When I played this the first time through, just kind of on my own. All right, I was actually able to get a lot of kills in the opening bit. All right, so Terminal has this safeguard ability. Oh, Terminal isn't the hacker. I always think she should be the hacker by that name, but she gets safeguard, which basically sends a gremlin to heal 4 and. Heals 4 HP, clears burning acid, grants 20 defense, and she can also target herself. So actually I'm going to drop Safeguard on Cherub, because he's kind of...
Back inside.
He's just kind of out there in the open. I'm not going to be able to... it's a 50-50 shot, but you know what? I'm going to take that 94... him, just knock him out. So that guy will take his action, fire up at us. Alright, now it's Cherub's turn. Alright, so Cherub can drop a kinetic shield ability, which basically he'll place an energy shield on somebody, and he'll also gain a charge, which then affects his charged bash, which basically supercharges this move and allows him to hit... I'm trying to remember what it does. It basically hits a... Oh, it hits a cone behind the enemy. But for now... let's just do this easy... Bam.
Made the arrest.
Charge bash like that. Now it's... Godmother's turn. She has Scatter Shot, which kind of is a... if anybody's seen my Troubleshooter LP, Hazing has a move like this, where he kind of has this... kind of hits everyone within this highlighted range. But you know what? We're just going to take a normal shot at this 88 over here. Boom. There we go. My turn. And both of those are in cooldown. So not much I can do about it. And he's in cover, so you know what? Let's just take this shot and be done with him. Because I have 3 actions in a row, I'll move over here. Take that 96 and only grazes him, of course. Alright. Move over here, maybe get a better angle with Cherub. And not a great shot, but a shot nonetheless. Hits him. You kind of saw there that cover absorbed some of the damage.
Set up the breaching charge.
I do like to make an entrance.
So I guess I didn't notice this in any of the gameplay I've seen, that I guess full cover works like armor, not necessarily just increasing your, not just affecting hit chance. So it actually also works like armor in a way. Special breach points. Some breach points can only be accessed with special equipment or abilities. Once an agent with the required asset is in the first slot, other agents can then be assigned. I mean, clearly, if you can't tell that I'm trying to give you guys everything that I know. I don't know everything about this game. So there we go. We'll set up and breach.
Hostage confirmed in the next room.
We need more than that.
3-1 PD has a live feed. Patching through.
If you surrender, I will advocate leniency.
Enough. This exhibit, it is about XCOM's role in our liberation.
I see you read the placard.
It doesn't say how they went soft and got weak. Now, it's up to us to light the spark.
He's holding a detonator.
Go, now!
Making a path.
There we go. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about this. So we can use Cover Rush, which gains us bonus dodge and defense on the first turn once we try and take cover. So that's, you know, kind of one of those if you don't have a better shot. Take that one. And only 3 damage because of course. Gets that crit. Of course he misses. There we go.
Nightingale, I'll protect you.
So it'd be kind of cool if you could pick where they'd take cover after the breach.
Cherub is down.
Terminal, stabilize him.
On it.
Verge, with me. Protect the mayor.
Confirmed.
Alright, so there we go. I'm going to guess that was a scripted moment. Agents that lose all their HP will begin bleeding out over several turns, indicated by the number of the timer. The mission will fail unless the agent bleeding out is saved with the stabilize ability, or the encounter is completed before the timer runs out. So that kind of replaces soldiers dying. Like I said, I think I said this at the very beginning, that you know, our soldiers won't die anymore. They end up going into a bleed out. Can I use safeguard? No, I cannot. Ah, but the gremlin can stabilize. There we go. So now he's unconscious and unable to take part in the mission. But at least he's safe, so I can't move. So might as well take the 76. Take him out. Think what I want to do here.
Show them how you feel.
Hit him with battle madness.
On the way.
There we go. Run around, take cover like that.
Obliterating.
Yeah, of course it does damage to me. Around, take cover there. Yeah, why not? Let's use the scatter shot ability. Oh, dope. Ah, I forgot to mention, if you notice that that marker right there above the that basically tells me that they're going to go after the VIP. There was something I was going to mention earlier. Oh, right, kind of how you notice when we breach, how it shows the you know, like I set that upper door to go before the bottom door. I think I started mentioning this and then I got distracted, but basically it showed the second the people who are going to act second before the people who are going to act first. There's actually a reason for that. Again, from Chris Farad, I got this from watching his LP. Apparently, according to Firaxis, they did that so that what was it? It was a smoother transition into the first action. I don't know if anybody found that interesting. One other thing I want to mention. I'm sorry, there's so much to really kind of talk about, because again, this game there's XCOM skeleton, but there's a lot of new kind of elements or kind of different altered elements. There we go. I think that's the best way to put it. So I'm sorry if I seem scattered during this. I'm trying to cover as much as I can, as quickly as I can, and it gets me flustered. So you're seeing here that Overwatch is a little different. Now, instead of it just being a general anyone moves, you actually set it as a cone for a certain area. Not necessarily what we're going to do at the moment. Honestly, yeah, nothing I can really do. Ah, there we go. So I can see shot. Okay. Oh, it's a passive ability. That's how she can graze with the spray and pray ability. Okay, that explains something. Yeah, might as well just drop safeguard.
Gremlin,
I don't want her moving and risking taking an Overwatch shot. Anything like that. Let's hit him with Stupor first. And we'll look at Virgil. Now that he's stunned, start just taking shots. He actually has armor. Just float around. There we go.
Cherub, are you still with us?
Yeah, I think so. Only thing injured is my pride.
and your diaphragm, and a few ribs.
None of this should have happened.
Most people say thank you.
I'm grateful, of course. But these people don't have the capability for any of this.
Explain.
I read their threat assessment. A month ago, these insurgents were all talk and no capability. The greatest threat they posed was to bottles of alcohol.
Why tell us? Why now?
City 31 shows the world how humans, hybrids, and aliens can keep a lasting peace. I'm the public face of this. Tonight, someone wanted what I represent to go up in flames.
We're not in town for local intrigue.
I know, but right now you're the only ones I'm certain are fighting for that same peace. Can I count on your support?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so in kind of our typical post-mission, you know, lightly wounded, gravely wounded, unharmed. You got a rating from one captured enemy. There's a 20% chance to earn 20 intel.
Package delivered to 31 PD.
She truly believes what she says.
That's why she's in charge.
Not too shabby for our first official mission.
Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Celebrate before a mission is complete. It's
bad luck.
Tonight, Mayor Nightingale perished in an explosion at City 31's Memorial Museum. The identity of her assailants is unknown at this time. The City Council asks citizens to remain...
So she gets vaporized the same day XCOM sends Chimera Squad to our city? You hear that voice in your head? That's me telling you to wake up!
Despite opposition, Mayor Nightingale's deciding vote brought the Reclamation Agency to the city. Without her support, Chimera Squad's continued presence is an open question.
Welcome home, Chimera Squad. The director wants to speak with us.
thanks for getting the mayor killed. Also, you're fired.
That's not helpful.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I'll patch the call through when you're ready.
I followed your action at the museum, and its aftermath.
Director Kelly, I take full responsibility for what happened.
Stop. I sent you to City 31 because I believed you were ready. Tonight, you surpassed my expectations. 31 PD requested help within 3 hours of your arrival in the city. You answered immediately. Going in, you were under-equipped and down an agent. You adapted, as we trained you to do. And let's not forget, you rescued the mayor. You delivered her to safety as the city requested. Don't blame yourself for an outcome you couldn't control. Instead, let's focus on what's next.
I set up the map table. Ready when you are.
Head over there. I'll hold.
Alright, so at this point, if you were playing without the tutorial, I believe you could kind of select which enemy faction you're going to go after first. There's multiple factions and investigations. Again, we'll get more, obviously we'll get more into it, but there's a little bit more freedom and kind of less hand-holding or less scriptedness if you're not playing with the tutorial like we are. But again, I kind of want the game to explain all this new stuff instead of trying to explain it for you guys, because if that last mission was anything to tell you, I'm very scatterbrained.
Welcome to City 31. During Advent's occupation, the city was a fortress supporting an active starport. 5 years after XCOM won the war, it's home to aliens, hybrids, and humans alike. There's new industry, self-government, and local agriculture to support the varied populations. Against all odds, this city thrived after the war. There were no retributive attacks.
Until tonight.
We don't know that. Not yet. But we can find out. 3-1 PD requested our help sifting through evidence at the Memorial Museum. They lost good officers today. Give them what they need and see what we can learn.
Alright, so the map is where you see the status of City 31 and any targets we can send our squad to respond to. Chimera Squad can respond to 1 target per day, after which the day will automatically advance. See, this is what I was kind of saying. This kind of reminds me of This Is the Police. It's kind of weird that it reminds me of that, but it does. Okay, so this is a situation. So 3-1 PD needs help pouring? Yeah. For some reason I thought there should be a U in there, but whatever. Pouring through the aftermath of tonight's attack, Mayor Nightingale's death has the city on edge. Let's do what we can to help. So we send the APC. And situations, from what I believe, are just simple. Send people there and we get the results of the whatever. We've done what we can to aid 3-1 PD. Commissioner Malouf passed along her thanks for helping her officers bear the weight of this attack.
Your work with 3-1 PD opened a few doors. Here's what we know. A crude plasma bomb killed the mayor. The insurgents had no access to materials for that.
Does that mean they had outside help?
Most likely. There are 3 groups in City 31 with access to this kind of ordnance.
Ah, okay, so never mind. I guess we do get to choose the faction. For some reason, I thought this moment was a little earlier, but I guess I was wrong. Okay, so we can go after the Progeny, which is a loose network of human scions. Their vision for City 31's future is entirely psionic, whether the city wants it or not. An organization of alien scavengers. They have quietly amassed the kind of weaponry Reclamation is mandated to recover. An underground religious movement for hybrids. They preach salvation, but only to those who once fought XCOM. You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to go after the Progeny first. I think that sounds interesting, going after all the psionics.
The Progeny have a small but loyal human membership, all with psionic capability. Victims willingly hand over what the Progeny need, then forget the whole thing. The perfect crime.
Director, these are local criminals. Isn't that 3-1 PD's jurisdiction?
True. The Reclamation Agency supports local police, but we're also required to recover dangerous material.
From those who would do the world harm, and each of those groups is neck deep in the stuff. So what next?
Focus on a single group. Investigate, dismantle their operations, and take them down.
Meanwhile, we look for any links to the mayor's death. Either way, a dangerous organization is off the streets.
Exactly. The city wants justice for Mayor Nightingale. This is how we help them achieve it.
Alright, so tackling investigations. Every investigation has 3 stages. Groundwork. From this first mission, learn about the faction and their methods, operations, hidden missions that must be revealed, then completed to knock out the faction's main plans, and take down, stop the final attack, and end their threat to City 31. So the investigation status on the Progeny. Let's see here. So we have the investigation log. It's been opened. We have no dark events. I haven't seen any of that stuff yet, so that's all new to me. Progeny's leadership is entirely psionic. Consultation with the Templars suggests... the Templars, thing to... holy crap, from XCOM 2 DLC, suggests human with powerful psionic capability. Okay, so that's all our information on them. So we have the assembly area.
Headquarters sent us an assembly. And with the right patterns, we can build anything. Or we could with the latest version. What you're looking at is the extremely finicky 2038 model. It'll take time to stress test our patterns, but once we have them, we're good to go.
Alright, so assembly projects are how you get access to new or better items and equipment. Each project can unlock new items for XCOM supply, new weapon and armor upgrades, or a variety of other useful things. Agents assigned here decrease the time it takes to complete a project. Alright, so Illyrium is one of the 3 resources Reclamation requires. It is spent to complete projects in the assembly. I believe Reclamation is and this from a lore perspective, I believe they are basically the agency that Chimera Squad directly reports to. So let's, so I guess we really only have one option here. So there we go. So we're working on Android personnel. Did we not start it? It's already in progress. Okay. Alright, so critical mission. This mission must be completed today. Credits are one of 3 resources Reclamation requires. These are spent to supply both new items and upgrade existing ones. How do I back out of this? Okay, there we go. So this is a critical combat target. There is a critical combat mission target available. Okay. So like I said, I think at this point, if you're playing on either without without the tutorial, by this point it's kind of let you go and kind of really explore things. You know what? I'm gonna back out one more time. So it also looks like we have a new recruit. The armory is where you manage your agents, load out, manage weapons, armor, and other items, agent abilities, agent biographies, and you can tint the armors, but other than that, really not a lot of customization.
The director convinced the city council we're too understaffed to be effective. This means we can bring more agents to City 31. It's not the whole squad, not yet, but it's something.
Alright, so let's look here. So we have Axiom. He's a Muton-like character. High damage, cover destruction. Also uses a shotgun, I believe. So he's Smash, Rage. Blue Blood is a precision shooting, multiple shots, do it the smart way. So he's kind of a gunslinger sort of character. Deadeye, Desperado. Alright, and then we have Patchwork. She's the hacker-based kind of specialist. But you know what? I always got to go with my kind of pistolier kind of character.
Blue Blood, great to see you.
Back at you, Whisper. Settling in?
Not exactly. Until we have a proper field office, we get to sleep in a rail car repair yard.
See? Every job comes with a few perks.
Let me know when we have any.
Alright. So from here we can mess with the loadout, we can mess with the primary weapon, so we have the pistol. The body armor, we can give them breach items and a utility item. What else? You can take a look at his abilities. Agents earn XP on missions, which lead to promotions. Each new rank provides increased stats. Some unlock new abilities. New training programs. At certain levels, you have a choice between 2 abilities. Decide which one you want. So again, that's kind of very it's very basic XCOM. So currently he has Deadeye, which takes a shot with a -15 aim penalty for 50% damage boost. And standard pistol fire and Deadeye cost an action and do not automatically end the turn if Blue Blood has actions remaining. Okay. And we can kind of mess with our, basically our shirt color. If you know me, I'm very partial to my darker color schemes. Actually, I'm going to apply that to everyone. But yeah, there's one other thing I wanted to do. Oh, is that actually how you pick them? Do you actually... Oh, you actually click on the unit. Oh, that's cool. Let's take a look at their biographies. Let's see here. So Blue Blood. I can't say that. Old world origin, United States of America. Prior to the invasion, only child of a teacher and a 3rd-generation police officer. The 2015 invasion, fled initial attacks with his father. Eventually spent eventually sent to a relocation camp at the age of 9. 2016 to the 2034 occupation, relocated to City 31 with his family, apprenticed with his father's private detective agency, solving issues for an underserved portion of the city, gained a positive reputation, and learned the basics of investigation work. The 2035 War for Liberation smuggled hundreds of people out of City 31, whom Advent had labeled as dissidents, only some of whom were actually Resistance members. That was at the age of 29, and to the present, joined 31 PD in its inception and served with distinction, left 31 PD for the Reclamation Agency, with blessing of former 31 PD Commissioner Markham, deceased. His investigation background is an asset to Chimera Squad. Okay. So let's kind of go down the line. I'm going to take a look at all their biographies here. So this is Verge, psionic support for an infiltration unit of Thin Men. This was prior to the invasion. 2015 invasion, actively worked to subvert human governments, experimented with delicate long-term mental control of human subjects. 2016 to 2034, during the occupation, assigned long-term control of an influential human who could keep the populace docile, with comprehensible, reassuring answers to their questions about aliens. Selected as a candidate for conversion into sectoid infused with human genetic material, post-conversion exhibited signs of empathy toward the human populace, quietly began to tip off resistance groups. From 2035, the War for Liberation served as a mole, actively aiding resistant groups and XCOM, approximately 35 years old, and to the present, spent time in detention camp until XCOM realized his role in the war, agreed to Reclamation Agency transfer. Director Kelly approved his admission to Chimera Squad. Come on. There we go. Okay, so I don't have to back out. I can actually go right from here. Alright. Let's see here. Cherub, Old World Origin, Estonia. Cherub belonged to the Empty Cohort, a batch of hybrid clones with full Advent training but no Advent indoctrination. 2035 War for Liberation emerged from his clone Crash. I don't know if that's correct. Immediately befriended two XCOM soldiers, 0 years old, 18 years old physically. To the present, transferred to detention center. Exhaustive testing revealed no Advent sympathies, despite being part of the Bedosmar clone line. Released from detention and recommended as a test case for XCOM utilizing skills of the Empty Cohort. Transferred to Reclamation Agency after providing proving his capability. Requested placement in Chimera Squad at first opportunity. Reclamation HQ has observed his enthusiasm improve the morale of his squad on multiple occasions. We have Terminal, her old world origin of China. Prior to the invasion, only child of a factory worker and a cook. During the invasion, parents died in the initial invasion. Her uncle fled with her to a relocation camp. 2016-2034, after her uncle died of disease, she was effectively adopted by a doctor who lost her only daughter to the invasion. Transferred with her adoptive mother to a small town in the outskirts. Began apprenticing in her adoptive mother's medical office after a punitive Advent attack wiped out her town. A resistance group pulled her from the rubble and brought her to safety. She exhibited a severe shift in personality. In 2035, the war combat medic for her resistance group exhibited absolute fearlessness and saved hundreds of lives at the age of 24. I still think she needs a different name than Terminal, because that makes her sound like she's a hacker, not a healer. Whatever. And to the present, initially rejected for the Reclamation Agency, but requested regular psionic probes to prove she is fit to serve. Assigned to Chimera Squad after a probationary period. There we go. And finally, we have Godmother. Old World Origin is France. Prior to the invasion, National Tactical Police officer with a few years of experience during the invasion. Went to ground after the fall of Paris. Spent a fruitless year searching for her family at the age of 23. During the occupation, provided operational training to the nearest European resistance groups. Strongly advised against direct resistance, which she learned brought overwhelming reprisal raids. Connected with XCOM XCOM proper, during its leaner years, remained a friendly asset as the organization rebuilt itself in 2032. She developed a formalized tactical training program to screen XCOM recruits. During the war, was a field liaison to allied resistance groups supporting XCOM at 43, and to the present, modified the XCOM recruit training program to suit the needs of the Reclamation Agency. Joined Chimera Squad, provisionally to ensure field team ready status. So there you go. There is all of our units. You can see all the empty lockers. I think there's, what, another 6 more? Yeah, okay, so it looks like there's probably going to be another 6 more units joining us. So that's the armory. We have supply.
The field office has all the basics. Weapons, comms, and ammunition. Supply is where we request everything else. As long as it's in the squad's budget, it's ours.
Alright, so this is the XCOM supply, where we buy all core items and equipment. Items unlocked from assembly projects become permanently available here too. So, auto key card that grants through security doors. We have the breaching charge, a ceasefire grenade, which disables firearms. I believe this might be a breaching weapon, I'm not sure. We have the flashbang, which, disorients people. I think it's pretty much the same as it was in old XCOM. We have a med kit, smoke grenades, tracer rounds, grant +5 aim to the agent when equipped, and we have tranq rounds, which if the target would be killed, they're rendered unconscious. So that's what we got there. Miscellaneous, the grenades, breaching, and androids. Basically what the androids are, which is, I'm trying to remember what exactly the androids do. I'm trying to think here. I believe you set an android to come with you at a mission, and then say like in the tutorial where Cherub went down. If that happens in the second encounter, but we still have a third one, the android replaces Cherub to fill out our team. I believe that's what their role is. Or they also fill in if somebody's wounded and you can't field the full team for a mission, you can bring in an android to fill that spot. I believe that's how it works. So I think we've run through all the menus. Real quick, I want to set us up for the next mission. So we have investigate the progeny. This is an easy difficulty. Whisper here. I'll keep you updated on any activities requiring our attention. Speaking of which, an entire progeny front company just opened fire on 31 PD. We should check that out, right? 35 credits. So we can send the APC. The following HQ activities are currently unaddressed. One or more agent is idle. You know what? I'm gonna say yes because I want to see if I can.
Forces need leadership to function.
Yeah, I can go back.
Authorized by the director, you may need to neutralize a hostile leader. Subduing your target is always preferred. Enemy leadership, if captured, provides valuable intel.
All right, so we got our squad here. So I can investigate the progeny in Riverside. Difficulty is easy. So we have 3 encounters. We have a window, a door, wall, and a security door. You know what? The reason I wasn't sure if I could back out is now I can come over here. I'm actually going to put... You know what? I'm going to put Cherub here to speed that along. Ah, okay, so I actually have to place them like that. Okay. See, I wanted to read the mission requirements, though, before I sent the APC. Alright, so now I can set who does what. You know what? I think she works well with the... Do I actually have to... Okay, there we go. Make items available. Now we have that breaching charge. There we go. I don't have any utility items, but that should work. I think, yeah, she'll work well with that that breaching charge. Yeah, because I'm assuming that's what we'll use for that wall breach option. So, yeah, this team will work. know what, we're running at about an hour. I think this is a good place to stop. I hope I explained things clearly. I also hope I explained things correctly. If anybody out there knows more about this than I do, wants to say, hey, AJ, you didn't explain this 100% accurately. Here's actually how it works. I'm happy to hear about that and make corrections. If I didn't say this, I can't remember. I was kind of running through my head how I was going to do the intro to this video, and it always ended up being like 10 minutes long, so I might have accidentally glossed over things, but honestly, I really didn't know about this game until about late last week. So honestly, I didn't have a lot of time to kind of look into it or anything, but so far I actually really like it. It's really smooth. I like the kind of the cop aspect of the game. I could maybe see where some more hardcore XCOM fans wouldn't like it, but I still I think that this is this is new enough that it's going to draw in new people, and it's not going to alienate too many old school fans. But that's just my opinion. I think that's about all I have to say. Expect another 2-3 parts, or expect 2 to 3 parts total today, and all that. Thanks for watching. Social media as always is in the description. There we go. Like, comment, not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned more next time. Till then, my name's AJ Gels. This is the Simple Game Channel. I'm out.